Welcome to the Queen City Music Podcast, the podcast devoted to the local music scene in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, here's your host, Matthew Ablin.
Hello and welcome to March Extra of the Queen City Music Podcast. This episode of the Queen City Music Podcast is sponsored by Middle Sea Jazz, Charlotte's premier jazz club located at 300 South Brevard Street in Uptown Charlotte. Stop in for Thursday night jazz jams, gospel Sundays every third Sunday of the month, or bi-weekly Wednesdays for Remember Wednesdays. But if you prefer, stay in for the evening and watch their Saturday night live stream, where you'll have access to the best performances Middle Sea Jazz has to offer. And if you want the VIP treatment, get a Baby Grand membership, where life takes you to a higher note. Tickets are now available for Norman Brown's record release party, Let's Get Away, on March 24th. And don't forget, Noel and Maria present Nicholas Beard, Extraordinary Vocals, on March 25th and 26th. And please welcome our newest sponsor, Midwood Guitar Studio, Charlotte, North Carolina's own boutique guitar shop located in Plaza Midwood. Midwood Guitar Studio not only has the finest selection in boutique guitars, but also familiar names like Fender, Martin, Taylor, Two Rock, and many others. Whether it's a guitar, bass, amp, effects pedal, or a much-needed accessory, the knowledgeable and friendly staff at Midwood Guitar Studio will help guide you in the right direction for your next purchase. Visit their website at midwoodguitarstudio.com or stop in to see their unique shop at 1517 Central Avenue, Charlotte, North Carolina. On this March Extra of the Queen City Music Podcast, Teddy Johnson, who is the managing director of Middle Sea Jazz, stops in to talk about all the things that are new and happening over at Middle Sea Jazz. I first had the opportunity to speak with Teddy back in 2020 on episode 38 of the Queen City Music Podcast. So if you haven't had a chance to go listen to that, I go back and check out that episode to find out more about Middle Sea Jazz and all about Teddy Johnson. Teddy Johnson, welcome back to the Queen City Music Podcast.
We are grateful to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
So Teddy, I want to find out about what's been happening over at Middle Sea Jazz. There's some updates going on. We are slowly coming out of our COVID mandate, I think on the February 26th. So what's been happening at Middle Sea in regards to COVID?
Well, as always, Middle Sea was dedicated to following whatever mandates Governor Cooper put forward. We want to make sure that we keep people safe. And now with the mandate ending, mask will be optional. If somebody wants to wear a mask that comes into the club, that's their choice. And for our staff as well. If somebody wants to wear a mask, we want to make sure they feel comfortable. So it'll be a total personal choice at that point. But we are glad it's ending because a little less stress and people want to go out and have a good time. And sometimes, with the mandate, that could overshadow a bit. But now that it's ending, we're very psyched.
Awesome. And I understand that there's been some renovations going on at Middle Sea Jazz. I haven't been down in a little bit, but what's been going on?
Well, you got to come down. It looks gorgeous. It looks like a high-end New York City club, if you will. We installed these beautiful banquet tables along the perimeter. Brown leather looks amazing. New lighting along the walls, new sconces. And as well, the lobby will be done in about 6 weeks. It looks really, really sharp when you walk into that club. It's something to see.
I'm going to have to come down because it looked sharper when I was down there previously. So I can't imagine what changes you guys have made.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Matt.
So, and I also know that you guys have a new tagline for Middle Sea Jazz. What's going on there?
Yeah. We're trying to make everyone always think of Charlotte's new home for cool.
Sweet.
I like it. And you have to say cool.
So I have to ask, did you have a whole professional team on coming up with something, or was this something said and you were like, that's perfect, we got to use that?
Well, I have to say we are a small team, but we work together and collectively we came up with this phrase, Charlotte's new home for cool. Yeah. And it's been working rather well because that's what you feel when you walk into the club, Matt. It is a cool place to be.
Yes, it is. And I know you guys have a great team because, I mean, just on a side note, I've been working with you and talking with Lizzie Taylor down at Middle Sea. And, man, I'm just impressed by the folks you have working for you.
Thank you. Lizzie is a superstar. We have a great team. We also have Cree White, who's in the box office, Sean Urquhart, who's in our ticket sales and also does our facilities management. And of course, we wouldn't be anywhere with Larry Farber and his son Adam and all of our investors who put this place together so we can enjoy it and have a great place to work.
Well, it's wonderful to have a dedicated jazz club in Charlotte. I mean, I think that's one of the things we've really kind of been missing, and it's a nice little jewel to have in our crown, as it were, in the city.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Larry and his son's vision really came through because there's nothing like it for miles and miles and miles. Mm-hmm. The closest thing you'll find, I really think you have to travel to New York City or perhaps down to Charleston or Hilton Head. But even that this is something very, very different because we have this upscale club. But when you get in there, you feel the Southern hospitality from everybody. And customer service to our patrons is number one. We want to make sure everyone has an experience that they will talk about the next day, how great it was, and they'll invite people to come with them next time.
Yeah, not even just that. I mean, the room is just fantastic too. To be sitting in, it's a good spot. Everywhere you sit is a good view of the stage, and sound is fantastic in the room as well.
Well, we put a lot of money into the audiovisual system. Really, it's not a bad seat in the house. It does sound great. It's a great listening room. Great place to have some really good food too.
So to move things along, I just want to find out. There's a lot going on there for the customers of Middle C Jazz. Mm-hmm. So you have a subscription service. Fill us in on the subscription service.
So the Middle C On Demand is a monthly service, very similar to Netflix. We have 60% of our shows now are being recorded. So if you join at about $10 a month, once you sign up, you can go through our library of all of our concerts, and you can watch them on your iPhone, your iOS device, and capabilities to just place it onto your TV screen, cast it onto your screen or your computer, and you can watch the whole show. It's recorded professionally and balanced and equalized, and we have 5 cameras. It's really something quite nice.
Just out of curiosity, do you know off the top of your head how many shows that you guys have in the bank, as it were?
I would say we're approaching 100.
Wow.
Yeah. We've been doing this now since I think it was December of 2020. That we started this, and it really has taken off. Our subscription service, we made our few mistakes when we began, but now when you listen in, it really sounds wonderful.
Are you guys recording all the shows that you do, or is it only touring regional, national artists?
So we definitely want to record our national artists, but we do record local artists as well. It all depends how we balance each week. We can have one week where there are 5 shows going on to Middle C On Demand, or we could have 1 or 2. It all depends.
Okay. Interesting. And one of the big things, I remember when I first spoke to you, we were talking about the Baby Grand Club. Mm-hmm. Has anything changed with the Baby Grand Club, or how has the subscription been to the Baby Grand Club?
That's a great question. So the Baby Grand Club has exploded. We have over 850 members right now.
Wow.
And our retention rate is just hitting the roof. You don't find that just anywhere. And it's because we take care of our members. So some of the great membership benefits, of course, we have discounts on tickets. We give coupons towards the purchase of tickets. We have free parking. And then we added 10% off of our food. So when people come and sit down, if you're a member, you get discounts on your food. So as far as the cost of the membership, it's a no-brainer. You go a half a dozen times and you've made your money back. But right. I think the biggest thing here is not just the added value of the perks, but you become part of a family. Mm-hmm. And you get to see and come to more shows. You get to talk to the musicians. You get to know people at the club, and you're supporting live music in Charlotte, which is such a great asset. Charlotte has exploded off the roof in the past couple of months with shows that were going on at Middle C. And not only at Middle C, but also some of the other venues. About 2 weeks ago, we had Gerald Albright taking place. We had Andre Bocelli that was in town. And we had Pat Metheny all on the same night.
Wow.
In Charlotte. I mean, that's a lot and something for the city to be proud of.
Yeah, I just did a interview for a podcast called the Working Musicians Podcast recently, and I was asked about the Charlotte scene, and I said, it's kind of exploding.
Yes,
I mean, just from a level of performing and the musicians moving here, I'm always seeing people asking, I'm new to town, who do I meet? How do I find gigs and things like that? It's really kind of interesting how much this city has grown and how many people have moved here in the music scene.
Well, the state of the economy, not to go off on a tangent, but because of the housing boom, so many people have moved to Charlotte, in the Charlotte region. I'm down in Fort Mill, Indian Land, Indian Trail. All over the place. So north of the lake, south of the lake, it's a great place to live.
I'm very pleased to be here. I love Charlotte.
Same here.
So let's talk about some of the upcoming shows that you guys have at Middle C Jazz. Now, of course, the one thing I love about Middle C is that you guys are promoting local artists. Being
Correct.
a local music podcast, I love the fact that you guys promote our local artists in Charlotte. But you are not limited to that. You're also having regional and national acts come in.
That's correct. I mean, last night is a great example. Last night we had Robin Springer and Ziad, who are two local Charlotte legends, just Grammy-nominated people, bring so much to the table, and really put on a great show. They were doing Sade, and the crowd loved it. We had 2 shows sold out last night. But to balance that out, we have national artists like Sai Smith, who's an incredible vocalist who toured with Chris Botti. She was on Saturday Night Live singing. I mean, just a wonderful artist. She'll be coming back for, I think, her 3rd or 4th time to Middle C. Yeah. We have Lindsay Webster that's coming in. Norman Brown is going to be here.
Wow.
Yeah, March 24th. Mindy Bear, second week in March. We have Noel Friedline and Maria Howell, who are regional legends. The Brubeck brothers, Dave's sons, are going to be at the club on April the 7th. Willie Bradley.
Oh, my gosh.
Kat Edmondson.
The list goes on.
Selena Albright. Nicole Henry. I mean, we have great artists that are going to be coming up the next couple of months. And all year, we've raised the game. We decided we're not going to be scared of what could possibly happen. We're doing the opposite. Through Larry and his sons Reed's programming, they're bringing in these great national artists that are coming in. Yeah. And like you said, wisely, we are balancing it out because we don't want to lose focus, for the local people. Yeah. Because without them, we wouldn't be here either.
Right. So let me ask you a question since I want to dig into it a little bit. You have all these wonderful acts coming in. Is it tough being a smaller club because you're not a large theater like a Night Theater or a Blumenthal that you can host a larger artist, like a huge name? Let's just say Wynton Marsalis off the top of my head. And that if he's called to play a gig, he's going to fill a theater. He's going to sell it out. Is it tough being a smaller venue, a club, getting a larger name that everybody's going to know and come out for, as opposed to I would say a moderately sized act?
Well,
who will fill the club?
We look at the glass half full.
Okay.
So let's look at the artists that want to do a club that holds 200 people and wants to do perhaps 2 shows on a Friday, 2 shows on a Saturday. And also what we found, there are artists of the caliber like Wynton Marsalis. Yeah. There are artists that want to and selectively want to do what they call a club series in contrast to doing something like filling in an arena for several thousand people. They want to do something, a different style. They're breaking out into maybe a subgenre of something new. And we're the perfect space for it because of the quality of what we bring in that listening room is so high end. So these musicians get a chance to do different things with us that they might not want to normally do with a place that holds 1,500 people.
That's fantastic. It's a good opportunity for a lot of people.
Absolutely. It makes it accessible.
Who are some of the local artists that you guys have had come into Middle C Jazz?
Well, local. So these are the people that we depend on because they come at the last minute. They're there, weekly, monthly. So I have to say Rodney Shelton, who's been great with us. Eric Price has been great with us. Maria Howell and Noel Friedline, they're our number ones. We love them. They're always there, and we try to give them as many opportunities as we can for programming to come in and play as we can. So that's just a quick example of some of the musicians. Then we have Ron Brendel, we have Troy Kahn, Sean Higgins, all these great musicians that come in doing different types of things for us. And we have horn players too that come in. And Ziad, I mean, he's amazing. Yeah. Just another one that comes in. So we're very blessed because we have local support, and then we get this national spotlight through the connections that Larry Farber and Reed Farber have grown. So we really are getting the best of both worlds.
One of the things I really like about Middle C is whenever I'm seeing an ad, whenever I'm seeing a video, it's quality. That's the one thing I really enjoy. I never see anything where I'm like, oh yeah, they kind of slipped a little there. Like on my podcast, I might slip a little, but when Middle C, it always seems like whatever you guys are putting out there, it's a really high quality.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for saying that. We work hard to get great videos. We have graphic artists, and you had mentioned Lizzie Taylor earlier. She takes many of our videos, and some we get professionally made as well, like National Artist Spotlights. And it's interesting because we just finished actually and executed a professionally made video that talks about the club in general. That's out on our social media, and in the next couple of months, you're going to see it on television as well.
So here's the thing. It just moves me to my next topic with you. I'm scrolling through Facebook one day, and I come across this video. And it's advertising a Jeff Beck show. So I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at the players in the video. And I see Ron Brendel, because he was recently on the podcast. I see Troy Kahn. I didn't know the piano player.
Sean Higgins, yeah.
Okay. And then I'm looking at the drummer, and I'm like, wait a second. And I have to blow up the video, to full screen. And I'm like, that's Teddy Johnson.
Yeah.
So what's going on? What you're sitting behind the kid?
Yeah. Well, music is my passion. I've been a musician all my life, and I've been very fortunate to be around other musicians who have helped me along the way. And all the musicians you've mentioned, I met at the club. And one of our series that we do at Middle C is called Guitar Heroes. And we're taking some of the best-known names in guitar heroes to me, I should say, Jeff Beck being one of them. Right. And I just happened to pose the question to the gentleman that we just talked about and said, hey guys, how would you feel about doing something like this?
Right.
And I really didn't know. Well, it turns out that they all love Jeff Beck. They all love the period that we're playing of Jeff Beck. And I said, fantastic. And I am very grateful and to be on stage with the level of musicians that are there, because they are all fantastic individually and as a group.
So can you let the cat out of the bag a little bit? Obviously you are handling tunes from Jeff Beck's Fusion period.
Correct.
So Wired, Blow by Blow.
Exactly.
Okay. Any particular tunes that you're covering? Can you say? Sure.
We're going to do Air Blower, of course. We'll do Freeway Jam.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do Scatterbrain. Yeah, we'll do The Pump. You're going to hear some great stuff. Blue Wind. All really good music. And what we decided collectively to put this together is that we realized that no one else is playing this.
Yeah.
At least that I've seen in the region.
Well, it's probably because most people can't handle playing Jeff Beck.
Yeah, I believe me, I'm woodshedding quite a bit lately.
Oh yeah, I have a video. I don't know if you might have probably already seen it. It's Jeff Beck live at Ronnie Scott's.
Wow.
And the band is just amazing, and yeah, the drumming is top notch.
I mean, so please, I'm not even trying to do with, if I had four hands, what Vinnie Colaiuto or Narada Michael Walden did with one hand, but just to get through it. I mean, it's amazing just the level of the musicians that are going to be on stage that night. I mean, Troy Kahn, he's so good.
Yeah.
And Sean Higgins as a musical director, I mean, he can play Chopin and then play Jan Hammer in the same sentence.
Wow.
Yeah. And Ron Brendel, I mean, he speaks for himself.
Yeah.
So I'm really, I can't touch their coattails. I'm going to be just doing what I can.
I'm sure you're going to bring it, man, and do a fine job.
I'll do the best I can. I promise that.
So tell me a little bit more about this Guitar Hero series. Do you have the particular show that we've been talking about, the Jeff Beck, is happening in March?
Yeah, that's the first one. And we do have two penciled in that are coming up the next several months. There's going to be a Pat Metheny, John Schofield night, and we'll be doing a George Benson. So then that's the next other two that'll be following in the next few months.
Now I'm sure Troy can handle all of that, but are you having other players come in to play?
Yes. We haven't quite settled who's doing what yet, but that's going to be published pretty soon.
Keep it moving, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know that how amazing Troy is. I saw him with the Jazz's Lead Ensemble.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, that was.
Well, he just came back from backing up Randy Brecker. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on.
Yes, there is. I love it.
So What else is happening in Middle City? Have we missed anything? I mean, I think we've covered a lot.
We have, and I appreciate that. Middle City is just very grateful to the greater Charlotte area. We're doing private events. We're doing weddings. We're doing corporate events.
Okay.
And obviously we're the place to come hear some great music, get treated like royalty, and become part of our family.
Fantastic. Well, Teddy, thank you so much for coming on the Queen City Music Podcast, filling us in. It's good to see you in person because the last time we were doing virtual.
That's right. And I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you play guitar soon.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this March Extra of the Queen City Music Podcast, and I hope you'll go back and check out past episodes. You can find the QCMP on all your favorite streaming platforms. As always, if you have an idea for an episode or would like to be a guest on the QCMP, reach out to me at qcmusicpodcast@gmail.com. Also, check out our local partners, Records on the Wall at rexonthewall.com, Reporting from 20XX at reportingfrom20xx.wordpress.com, Queen City Live at Instagram.com, Queen City Live Music, and our newest partner, Charlotte New Music at charlottenewmusic.org. Until next month, be well and stay safe.